I'm Greg Gutfeld, and welcome to Batter Up, the only show that covers cakes, muffins, and cookies in the same hour. Tonight, we're going to discuss if scones are overrated and why some states are considering banning them outright. Later, we're going to take a 90-question quiz on the history of pound cake. Fun fact, the pound cake is named after the amount of weight in change you can put in a sock and then swing at your spouse. But for now, let's welcome our guests. Was she so smart that Mensa brags about being members of her? I'm here tonight with Kennedy, special correspondent on Fox Business Network, Stossel, as well as Reason.com contributor. All stripey today. Her latest book is called The Kennedy Chronicles. Look at her, she's naked. Woohoo! And it's TV's Andy Levy. When Andy isn't crying himself to sleep, he's crying himself to wake up. And he puts the ick in sidekick. It's my repulsive sidekick, Bill Schultz. And he's got more brains than a medical library. Sitting right next to me, nationally syndicated radio talk show host, Dennis Prager.
A block. The lead. That's the first story.
Do you know a good veterinarian, Greg? Because your pythons are sick.
Thanks. Finally, a compliment. All right, he claims it's not a wreck and that the problem is only tech. Yeah, President Obama, if that's his real name, wants us to separate the law from its biggest flaw. It's day whatever of
Obama Apocalypso Ageddon Gate.
Yes, on Monday, the president expressed anger at the failures of the government's health care website, but said the glitches didn't mean Obamacare sucks horribly. It only sucks a bunch. And he explained that consumers can instead apply over phone or mail. But can you get your questions answered by real people 24 hours a day in 150 different languages?
You can get your questions answered by real people 24 hours a day in 150 different languages.
Yeah, what's the phone number for these call centers, and do you want to repeat that?
The phone number for these call centers is 1-800-318-2596. I want to repeat that, 1-800-318-2596.
But do I have to just go through the phone?
You don't have to just go through the phone. You can also apply in person with the help of local navigators.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Call me local navigators. Off topic, what do you think about the fact that they haven't even started production on Magic Mike 2?
Nobody's madder than me about the fact.
Well, glad we cut him off. I agreed we agreed on something, or I knew we agreed on something. Later, someone fainted.
Free families from the pervasive fear that one illness. There you go. You okay? I'm right here. I got you. Yeah. No, you're okay. This happens when I talk too long.
Oh, that wasn't planned at all, was it, Mr. Kenyan-born interloper? Anyway, here's exclusive footage of the first patient to receive a checkup under Obamacare.
I know. 28. She's like, I'm done with that was 28.
Oh, you gotta do tail?
Yeah.
Should we do it all the way?
6. Okay. 6.
Half sec. There's nothing redeeming about that creature. All they do is make noise, and they don't mate. It's time for them to go. Dennis, you've been an outspoken defender of Obamacare.
Yes.
What did you make of the president's press conference?
The president's press conference was remarkable because it reminded me of how incensed he was of the IRS scandal. Remember that?
Yeah.
All of these things that don't work under his administration, he is incensed about.
Yes.
And we're supposed to be impressed by that.
Yes. It's good to be incensed. Then that means you're doing something without actually doing something. Kennedy, Obama gave out a toll-free number to call. Then everybody called, and that didn't work. It crashed. What is the message here? That government works?
Government does not work. If you can't put together a simple website, how hard is that?
Yes.
At $500 million.
Any 12-year-old with a 4-year-old MacBook Pro could do a better job. We're calling in the best of Silicon Valley. Let me be clear. This sucks nards. I know my Obama impression is horrible.
That was uncanny.
Obamacare is worse. And this is just a forecast, and everyone's like, well, Medicare Part D had a lot of problems, and that's amazeballs, which is not true.
Yeah.
Medicare Part D was awful. Obamacare is an abomination. It's scary. It's bad for families. People who are actually able to sign up for it, who've spoken to one of the 150 people 24 hours a day.
Yes.
They find that their premiums are higher And so are their deductibles.
Yeah.
That means if you spent $250 a month for a $3,000 deductible, now you spend $350 and your deductible is upwards of $7,000.
And
numbers, Greg.
and the payment that you're making every month does not go against your deductible. Is that true?
That is true.
Which is amazing because my health care, I remember paying, that would take a chunk out of your total deductible.
You know what the weird thing is with most insurance plans? Your health care doesn't go against your deductible. You could have 1 billion tests in 1 year and a $7,000 deductible, and then at the end of the year, it's like, well, yeah, you've still got $5,000 left, but I paid $15,000 out of pocket. Well,
Andy, are we focusing too much on the glitchy websites and not enough on you?
Some people do say that, but others disagree, Greg.
Nice, pat answer.
Absolutely, yeah. This was one of the most embarrassing speeches I've personally seen a president give, probably since I froze my ass off watching William Henry Harrison's inaugural address. You have the President of the United States pimping an 800 number. Sitting there saying the best and the brightest are going to fix this. Has nobody in that administration read David Halberstam's book? Do they not understand that he called it the best and the brightest, referring to the quote-unquote smart people who got us lost in Vietnam? I don't understand what's going on here. And then he grabs the woman. He says, "You're okay, really, Dr. Obama? How do you, you're running health care now, so now you're
yes,
now
he is. It's
right.
called Obamacare
so now,
for a reason.
Right.
Did you see him get out the gloves? And
now he thinks he can make diagnoses.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Dennis. I can't stand the nobody is more whatever than me. Nobody is madder than me about the fact that the website isn't working. I'm guessing the people who spend hours trying to get health care are madder than him.
And by the way, what's the metric? How do you measure that?
In
Because
cents?
to him, it's pretty objective. And by the way, like mail and phone, like Nana and Papa are sitting at home going, "Oh, finally, a president who understands
By
my
the way,
technological
I
needs."
see a lawsuit.
Right.
150 languages means that there are languages that are not represented. And the people who speak one of those
Better have
languages,
Tagalog.
it's a very serious issue.
There's Vulcan and also Esperanto. Bill, at one point during the press conference, Obama said that
Which
you,
always
Bill
reminds me of
Schultz.
an Eagles song.
What?
It always reminds me of an Eagles song.
Okay, I'm going to try and ask a question again to Bill, in which I was going to insult
talk
him.
about the Eagles, Greg.
Yes. Bill, what do you make of this? Is there anything that positive that came out of that press conference?
Well, a woman that didn't land on her face, that was great. Although I will say this, her name is Carmel Allison, and she later tweeted that indeed the reason that she was finding herself to be a little lightheaded was because she had diabetes.
Yeah.
And I noticed it was right after Obama said, "I'm not going to sugarcoat this," that she fainted.
Yes.
So I'm not going to say what needs to happen, but it rhymes with schmim schmeech. And to your point, to your point, the reason Republicans don't talk about Medicare is because old people vote. Do the math.
But I want. Okay, I'm going to just do today on the other show, The Five, lesser known, less popular show than Red Eye. Eric Bolling made a provocative point. That whole thing was planned. That when Obama turned around without knowing what was going on behind, and maybe the sugarcoat was the clue for.
It's like the Manchurian candidate. It's like the Manchurian candidate.
Or there were a lot of people in the audience that were going, "Ooh!" Because I was watching going, "Ooh!"
No,
she started failing like this halfway through the middle.
By the way, two things are happening here.
Good
One,
Lord, people.
it's to remind people what was happening to women of a certain age as they stood in long lines to see him speak in 2008.
Yeah.
And he wants to take people back to the glory days. And the second thing is he wants the takeaway to be the woman who fainted at the press conference, not the subject of the press conference itself.
So you believe that this was all planned?
Well, I think if they're smart, they would plan something.
Yeah, I don't think they planned it, but I think they wish they planned it.
Although, in fairness to Bolling, every time I see him talk, I also go, "Oh! Flag pin lapel! Oh, Constitution! Oh!"
That's extremely attractive, Bill, when you do that. Every time you do that.
I am by myself at the office. No one else is ever there.
All right. I don't think it was a conspiracy.
Do you know that,
or do I?
Do you know that since I've moved to this panel, I just had my ears tested. The hearing in this ear has gone down 50%.
Don't do it.
Blame
Don't do
Obama.
it. Don't do it again,
Blame
Bill.
Obama.
50% hearing loss.
Well, if you had Obamacare, you could get that checked out.
No, you couldn't.
No,
You'd be on
actually,
some.
you wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Don't make me
like
do the
Andy
noise
Levy.
again. Actually, just do the Obama
No,
impression again.
do the cute panda noise, because that was.
All right.